The most dangerous enemy you will ever face is not the one standing in front of you with a weapon. It's the one standing next to you with a smile. They know your weaknesses. They have access to your plans. They've studied your routines, your habits, your blind spots. And while you think they're your ally, they're collecting intelligence, building leverage, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. This is infiltration, and it happens every single day in offices, friend groups, families, and relationships. The snake doesn't announce itself. It blends in. It earns your trust. It becomes indispensable. And by the time you realize what it is, the damage is already done. Today, you're going to learn how to identify these threats before they compromise you. Not through paranoia, through observation, through testing, through cold, tactical awareness. Because in the game of power, ignorance is not bliss. It's suicide. Tactic 1. The Jester's Dagger. The first tactic snakes use is called the Jester's Dagger, and it's one of the most effective weapons in their arsenal because it hides aggression behind humor. Here's how it works. They insult you, but they do it with a smile, with a laugh, with just enough plausible deniability that if you react, you look like the problem. "I'm just joking, relax. Why are you so sensitive? Can't you take a joke?" This is not banter. This is reconnaissance. They're testing your boundaries. They're lowering your status in front of others while maintaining the cover of friendship. And if you let it slide, they'll push further because they've learned you won't defend yourself. Here's the scenario. You're in a group setting. You mention a recent accomplishment, maybe a promotion, a project you finished, something you're proud of, and your friend immediately cuts in with, "Yeah, but let's be honest, you got lucky, right? I mean, the bar was pretty low." Everyone laughs, including them, and you're left with a choice. Call them out and look defensive, or laugh along and accept the insult. Either way, they win, because if you stay silent, they've just publicly diminished you. And if you push back, they'll accuse you of overreacting. "Dude, I was kidding. Why are you being weird?" This is the Jester's Dagger. The blade is real, but it's wrapped in a joke so you can't see it coming. How do you spot it? Simple. Pay attention to patterns. Once is an accident. Twice is a coincidence. 3 times is a tactic. If someone repeatedly makes you the punchline, especially in public, they are not your friend. They are an asset, testing how much disrespect you'll tolerate. Tactic 2. The Double Agent. The second tactic is called the double agent, and it's how snakes buy your trust with someone else's secrets. Here's how it operates. They come to you with gossip. "Hey, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but did you hear what so-and-so said about you?" Or, "Just between us, I don't trust that person. I thought you should know." And in that moment, you feel special, like they chose you, like they're on your side, like they're protecting you by giving you insider information. But here's what's really happening. They're establishing credibility. They're proving they have access. They're showing you they're willing to share sensitive intelligence. And once you trust them, once you start sharing your own secrets, they take that information and sell it to the next person. Because if they'll gossip with you, they'll gossip about you. The currency doesn't change, only the target. Here's the scenario. A coworker pulls you aside. "Look, I like you, so I'm going to be honest. I heard so-and-so talking about you in the break room. They said you're difficult to work with. I just thought you deserved to know." Your first instinct is gratitude. They're looking out for you, right? Wrong. They're baiting you. Because now you're upset. Now you're defensive. And now when they ask, "So what do you think about so-and-so?" you're more likely to vent, to share your frustrations, to give them ammunition. And the moment you do, they've got you. Because that information, it's going straight back to the person you just complained about, or to your boss, or to whoever benefits them most. The double agent doesn't pick sides. They play all sides. And the common thread in every betrayal, it's them. Tactic 3. The Duper's Delight. The third tactic is the most subtle, and it requires you to become a reader of faces. This is called Duper's Delight.
the involuntary micro-expression that betrays a snake's true emotion before they can mask it. When you share good news with a real friend, their face lights up instantly, genuinely, no delay. But when you share good news with a snake, there's a split-second flash of something else: envy, anger, resentment. And then, almost immediately, they plaster on a fake smile and say, "That's amazing, I'm so happy for you." But you saw it, that flicker, that micro-expression, and your instincts are screaming at you that something's off. Here's the scenario. You just landed a major opportunity, a new job, a relationship, a win of some kind. You tell your friend the news, and for just a fraction of a second, maybe half a second, their face tightens, their jaw clenches, their eyes narrow. Then they recover, they smile, they hug you, they say all the right things. But that initial reaction, that's the truth. Because micro-expressions happen faster than conscious thought. They're involuntary, and they reveal what someone really feels before their brain has time to fake it. How do you train yourself to catch this? Watch their eyes and mouth in the first 2 seconds after you deliver news. If there's a delay before the smile, if their eyes don't match their mouth, if they look down or away before responding, that's your signal. They're running damage control on their real reaction. Snakes hate your success because in their mind, resources are finite. Your win is their loss. And even though they'll congratulate you, inside they're calculating how to undermine it.
The active test, the Canary Trap. Now we move from passive observation to active testing. This is a technique borrowed directly from intelligence tradecraft. It's called the Canary Trap. Here's how it works. You suspect someone is leaking your information. Maybe they're gossiping about you. Maybe they're feeding your plans to a rival. You're not sure, but you need confirmation. So you set a trap. You give them a piece of false information, something specific, something unique, something that only they would know. Then you wait. If that false information comes back to you from a different source, you've confirmed the leak. This is surgical. This is definitive. This is how intelligence agencies catch spies. Here's the scenario. You suspect a coworker is sharing your ideas with your boss and taking credit. You can't prove it yet, so you tell them, casually, that you're working on a new project. You give them a fake detail. "Yeah, I'm thinking of using a blue color scheme for the rebrand. Really bold move." You tell no one else, just them. Then you wait. 2 days later, in a meeting, your boss mentions, "I heard someone's considering a blue rebrand. Interesting idea." And you know, because you never told your boss. You never told anyone else. The only person who knew about the blue rebrand was the coworker. The trap worked. The canary sang, and now you have confirmation. This technique works in friendships, relationships, workplaces, anywhere you need to verify loyalty. Just remember, the information must be unique, trackable, and believable. If it's too obvious, they'll see through it. The solution, the surgical removal. So, you've identified the snake. You've confirmed the threat. Now what? You do not confront them. You do not argue. You do not give them a chance to manipulate, gaslight, or turn the situation around. This is called the surgical removal, and it's simple. You cut them off, completely, coldly, without explanation. Because here's the truth. Snakes thrive on drama. They want the confrontation. They want the chance to defend themselves, to play the victim, to twist the narrative. And if you give them that stage, they'll use it. So you don't. You stop sharing information. You stop attending events they're at. You stop replying to their messages. You become a ghost. And when they ask what's wrong, you give them nothing. "I'm just busy. Things have changed." No details, no ammunition. This is not cruelty. This is strategy. Because emotional reactions are liabilities, and the moment you explain yourself, You've given them leverage. Here's what happens next. They'll try to draw you back in. They'll apologize, vaguely. They'll ask mutual friends what happened. They'll play the victim to anyone who'll listen. Let them, because the people who matter will see through it. And the people who don't, they weren't your allies anyway. The snake's power comes from proximity, from access, from the illusion of trust. The moment you remove that access, they become irrelevant. And irrelevance to a snake is death. You don't need closure. You don't need the last word. You just need distance. Because in the end, the best way to win against a snake is to remove the board they're playing on. No confrontation, no drama, no second chances. Just silence and survival.